Unless you look at the net ratings every single day, you might not know that the Mountain West Conference is the 5th best league in the country, according to the net. Better than the ACC, better than the Pac-12. Deadleg, do you agree with the net or do you take issue?
GP, did you read my power rankings last week? Yes or no?
Come on, man.
That's a no. This was detailed in the PRs last week, the Hey 19. That's right. Mountain West. I thought we were maybe springboarding.
How many?
Hey, this was a great little lead. You wrote about the Mountain West. Let's podcast about it. No chance. No chance.
How many minute read did you? That thing.
I keep it breezy. It's breezy. I gotta get 19 team capsules. It's probably.
I think I did read it. I think I read the capsules.
Yeah,
I do learn. I do in the spirit of fairness. I do learn things from your capsules.
I kept it like
I roll my eyes at your order of teams, but I do
listen.
But I do learn.
I'm going to have the same teams as you.
But I do learn things in the capsules. I roll my eyes at your order of teams. If I were being honest with you, here's what I would say: subpar ranker of teams, great capsule writer.
I'll take it. But as a reminder, I am also ranking the hottest teams in the country. Get ready. Charleston is going to be in the top 10 again. Has not lost in like 2 months. It's hot. Charleston fans, if you're looking for your team to be ranked at cbssports.com, I'm your guy. That's all I can say.
People keep asking, like every morning, somebody's like, where's Charleston? And I just, there's no way to even talk about them without sounding like I'm crapping on them. And I'm not crapping on them. I think they're obviously good. I'm so happy for Pat Kelsey. I simply don't think they have a resume that is worthy of being in the top 26 in the country. And if you'll acknowledge that the way I try to do these, are more or less the same way a selection committee might look at things, well, then go look at where Jerry Palm has Charleston in his bracket. Go look at where any other bracketologist has Charleston in their bracket. It doesn't line up with the AP poll. The AP voters have Charleston way higher than most computers and way higher than most bracketologists. It's an amazing story. I just do not, given the way I do things, I don't think that's a resume that deserves to be ranked right now. But I take no issue with anybody ranking them because more than I'm tied to the way I do things, I'm happy for Pat and that program and that entire community. No, I'm being sincere. That comes from a sincere place. I do not think Charleston should be ranked right now. I love that Charleston is ranked right now so that it gets attention that everybody there seems to genuinely appreciate.
Mountain West stuff. San Diego State, Nevada, Utah State, Boise State, New Mexico. 5 teams. The Mountain West is ranked 7th at KenPom, but 5th in the net, and is having another really good season because, as mentioned in last week's power rankings, you have San Jose State is above 500 in January for the first time ever as a Mountain West program. Air Force has been a sub 500 team for the majority of the past, 10, 15 years, above 500 right now. Really, the weird thing is that Wyoming, a team projected top 2 in this league, is 6-14 and 1-7. Wyoming's terrible. No one saw that coming, but we have had enough plot twists elsewhere where the Mountain West, it's a given what it did in the non-conference and where teams stand right now, it is a guarantee to get at least 3 teams into the tournament. 4 is on the table. 5 is a long shot, but you're going to have at least 3 there. Don't know which of those 3 is going to wind up being the 5 I mentioned at the top: San Diego State, Nevada, Boise State, New Mexico, Utah State. They're all top 50 at KenPom right now. The best of it is actually Boise State at 16-5. The Broncos just took a loss on the road Friday in OT at New Mexico, a good game in OT. There's actually been some controversy as well in this league as of late. Leon Rice, understandably so. Apparently, like, the New Mexico baseball team was physically intimidating the Boise State basketball team as it left the locker room at halftime, and apparently it got kind of heated back there. I don't know. Rice had a huge issue with it, understandably so. Thankfully enough, there wasn't a brawl, but he was not happy. Boise State goes on to lose. Then New Mexico and Patino gets pissed because they lose in another game that needed bonus time and free hoop on Monday night, a double OT affair on CBS Sports Network, in a loss against Nevada, in which Morris Udeze grabbed an offensive rebound and was being pestered. I don't know if he was truly fouled or not. I understand if you're a New Mexico fan, you don't even want to hear that. But he did, in an effort to be like, get the hell off of me, he swung his elbows. He was assessed a flagrant one that allowed Nevada to go to the line, get the ball, and that wound up being those those points wound up being the actual final points of the game in Nevada's 97-94 win. Whatever. Nevada wins. It's actually better for the Mountain West that Nevada wound up winning in terms of overall team resumes. But it's a good league with a good race, as you said at the top here, and it's another good season. But as I noted in last week's Power Rankings, GP, I'm eagerly going to follow this conference and these races and see these teams get into the tournament. I think from a national perspective, widespread college basketball fans across the country, it is going to come down to like you have to win games in the tournament. It went 0-4 last season,
Right.
Sent 4 teams to the tournament, and it's going to run into the same problem here, GP. I'm not seeing an easy pathway to any of these teams getting a 5 seed or better. Maybe a 5, like if some team separates, but it's not. I don't think any of these Mountain West teams are going to put themselves in a position where when they get into the tournament, they're going to be favored in at least 2 games. They might be favored in their first round matchup because a couple of them are going to be single digit seeds and they might be on the 6, 7, or 8 line. That might happen there. But in order for this league to, I think, elevate in status and reputation, you're going to need at least 2 teams to win at least 1 game in the tournament. Last year, it was a quality year for the conference, but then a complete pratfall and nobody wins a game in the tournament overall. But I am liking what I'm seeing here, and we've got a variety of teams certainly capable of doing it. I would register Nevada and New Mexico as the 2 surprises. San Diego State was a preseason favorite. Boise State is normally pretty good, maybe overplaying expectations slightly. And then Utah State was actually a bit of a metrics darling, and I did have them in my top 80 or 85 going into the preseason. So not a total shocker, but at 16-4, they're right there in the mix with the other 4.
Like you mentioned last year, the league got 4 teams in the NCAA tournament, and those seeds were a 6, a 8, a 8, and a 12. And then Colorado State lost by 12 to Michigan. Boise State lost by 11 to Memphis. San Diego State lost by 3 in overtime to Creighton. Wyoming lost by 8 to Indiana. And that, so that became a story to some degree. The Mountain West Conference, did not perform well in the NCAA tournament. Were those teams ever as good as we thought they were, as some of the computers suggested they were? Fair question, I guess. And the league's going to run into that again unless they have success in the NCAA tournament. For what it's worth, though, right now, I've got Boise State at number 24 in my top 25 and 1, San Diego State at number 25. And then after that, I've got Memphis at 26. I would have Rutgers at 27. And then I would have Nevada at 28 and New Mexico at 29. So I got 4 Mountain West Conference teams in my top 30 right now. And, I don't know if the league's actually better than the ACC or the Pac-12, like the net suggests, but it's a quality league, no question, and one that rates clearly better. Like at worst, it's the 7th best league. At best, it's probably the 5th. At worst, it's the 7th, and clearly better than everybody else below it. The top 7 being, in some order, the Power 5 plus the Big East plus the Mountain West, plus the Mountain West Conference. KenPom, by the way, has 5 Mountain West Conference teams in the top 50. It has 6 ACC, but only 4 Pac-12. So, looking at it from that perspective, the Mountain West Conference falls right in between the ACC and the Pac-12. The Boise State's another interesting one. I remember this last year becoming a thing, and then they lost, and so it's still a thing. Boise State's been in the NCAA tournament 8 times, never won a game. 0-8 all time.
Is it okay? I wasn't sure if it was 0-8 or if it had never made the second round because it had won like a first 4 game.
Literally has never won an NCAA tournament game. So that's the type of bullet point that gets connected to your program that like you just want to win a game. Like, hey, you know what? Put me in the first 4 so I can win a game. Like you almost want something like that.
Trivia time that I think might be right.
Okay, maybe right. Trivia time. Let's go.
Maybe right. I think this is it. Let me actually. I can check this on the fly real quick. If it's recently changed, then I'll just tell you what it is. But I think this is still the case. Hold on. Let me see. Trivia time.
Let's go.
Team with the most all-time NCAA tournament appearances that does not have a win.
UMass Lowell.
How about UMass Lowell? By the way, we seeing what those Riverhawks are doing. They got a shot.
The Mississippi Riverhawks.
The Mississippi Riverhawks. Are you aware? 17-4. Where is this team, and why is it not in your top 25 and 1? 17-4.
Probably for
Best
this
season in their history as a D1 institution.
Without looking at it too closely, I would assume they're not in the top 25-1 for more or less the same reasons Charleston isn't.
It's unacceptable. Shouts to Pat Duquette and the UMass Lowell Mississippi Riverhawks. They're coming. They're coming. Do you want the answer? Do you not want an actual guess? Most teams all time tournament appearances.
No, yeah, I'll guess. It's got to be like a low major team that won a lot of conference tournaments.
Yes.
And then just gets in and gets their brains beat in every year. It has a 15 seed, something like that.
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Feels like it's Maine.
Maine's never made the tournament.
See what I mean?
It's Maine.
Feels like
the exact opposite, actually.
I couldn't have had a worse answer than Maine.
Feels like it's Maine. What?
I feel like is it Georgetown?
Oh, congratulations, Georgetown.
We'll
29 straight losses. It's finally over. Of course, it had to be you, DePaul.
Georgetown has won games in the NCAA tournament before?
It has.
Get out of here. Prove it. Prove it. Hey, prove it in 1080. I bet you can't prove it in 1080. Show me a Georgetown tournament win in 1080. I bet you can't.
I don't think has happened. But in the standard definition era, you best believe. Killing it. The answer, wait till you see how I tie this all together.
Okay.
The answer is Iona.
Mm-hmm.
Iona, I think it's somewhere around like 15 or 16 appearances all time without a tournament win. That's a probably right trivia question. I'm pretty sure that's the answer. Someone feel free to fact check me in real time on the pod or find me afterward when you're listening on your phone. Iona coached by none other than Rick Pitino.
I've heard of him.
Rick Pitino, trivia time.
Okay.
Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
is one of 3 coaches to take 5 schools to the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Alford can become the 4th coach to do that if he takes Nevada out of the Mountain West to the tournament this season.
Okay. Who are the other 3?
No, there are 2.
There's
Alford
2
would be one of the other 3 if Nevada goes there. Patino's that. Who are the other 2?
Lon Kruger.
Correct. Kruger did it with K-State, Florida, Illinois, UNLV, and the Oklahoma Sooners. My apologies. I got a coach call me for some reason. I don't even know why, but I sent that right to voicemail.
Tubby
Did you
Smith?
hear that? Did you hear that phone ring?
Yeah, we could definitely hear
All right,
that.
here we go.
That's why you have to you have to turn your phone on silence. Yeah. First rule of podcasting.
I know. Sorry about that. Should I call the coach out?
No.
Okay. I won't.
Is it Tubby Smith?
Tubby Smith did not just call me.
No, I didn't assume Tubby Smith called you. Is Tubby Smith gone to?
Tubby Smith is the other coach, yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, Lon Kruger, Tubby Smith, Rick Pitino, and maybe Steve Alford soon.
And maybe, yeah. Tubby took Tulsa, Georgia, Kentucky, Minnesota, Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. Tubby could have done it with 6. He just never got Memphis there. Tubby would have stood alone. Yeah,
you don't have to tell me.
I know. Anyway, so those are some trivia times and some your Mountain West corner here. I'm going to say agree or disagree. 3 teams to the tournament.
4.
4?
Yeah.
4 is possible. Yeah.
5, like Jerry Palm, I think in his most recent bracket had 5. I'll go 4. I think somebody will fall off.
Someone's going to fall. 5 is asking too much. And there'll be a 5 or a 6 in there. There'll be a 7. 2 of them will probably be in 8-9 games, and 1 will probably go to Dayton if they get 4. Something like that. Yeah.